Welcome back to day 3 of our Dream Castle inspired by Klee, where we are taking a look at his unique abstract style of combining geometric shapes with bright colors to create our very own Dream Castle. Before you begin this step, you must first make sure that you have finished tracing your geometric shapes to build your castle. You should also make sure that you've added some detail to your castle and taken some of the larger shapes and broken them down into smaller shapes. Remember, this was my example that I used a Sharpie marker for only so you could see it. You used a pencil to trace yours. And if you traced light enough, you should barely see what you've drawn. Here, look at my example. Today, you will be using a white oil pastel to trace over your pencil lines. If you look at mine, you can hardly see my pencil lines. Plus, the fact that I'm drawing white on white, it's really difficult to see what I'm drawing in this video. If you look really close, you will see that I'm outlining the shapes of my castle. I'd like to show you what it looks like if your pencil lines were really dark and heavy. In this example, you can actually see the pencil lines before I begin. And you'll notice when I put the white oil pastel over them, it kind of blends it together and looks like a gray, fuzzy line. If your lines are this dark and heavy, you should take an eraser and try to lighten them up before you put the white oil pastel over them. A reminder, if your oil pastel gets too short, very carefully peel back some of the paper. If you find that the pastel is dirty with another color on it, use a piece of scrap paper and draw and roll the white pastel until it gets clean. Now, back to my castle. As you are doing this, you should be applying medium pressure, which means you don't want to press too light where you hardly see any of the white on the paper, but you also don't want to press too hard where you're breaking the oil pastel. The lines you're making should also be pretty thick, not too skinny. Here, take a look at my final example and look at how thick these white lines are. If you draw them too thin and skinny, they won't show up. Let's fast forward till the end. Remember, a lot of this will be hard to see since it's white on white and my pencil lines are really light. I'm pretty sure I finished. Here's a little trick that will help you see the white pastel. Hold your paper up at an angle and watch how the light reflects off of the oil pastel. It will be easier to see it this way to make sure that you've gone over all of your lines. And this completes day 3, where we outlined our castle with a white oil pastel. Stay tuned for the next video.